What's up, guys? It's your boy GRC. This is Crypto in the Morning. How is everybody doing today? Let's get straight to the comments. Look how clean and efficient I am now. Josh Perry, I hope everything's going good. What's up, Flexicans? Pew. Good to see you. Sean Ramirez, Hex Deck, the Prosperity Project across from your name. What's that? Soon, tell me. David Feeder's coming on to talk all about nodes tomorrow, guys. 11 a.m. Eastern. Going to be crazy. It's going to be insane. Best Saturday show probably yet. Lucifer 369. Like that name. Stolt. Yo, like and share. Good day, fam. Bullish. Bullish is going through all sorts of controversy this morning. I can't keep up with them. My brain's a little poo-pooed, but I'm excited for the show, guys. We got a lot to talk about, as always. And what does it always end with? It's mostly FUD, mostly rich people doubling down on scamming more people because they have so much money that, well, if I had so much money, this is how I think about it. I don't think about everyone else. I just think about myself, like Sam. At what point do you get detached enough where you can just melt? It's not that big a deal. The market's going to dump. Someone's going to dump it. I'll dump it too. And at the top. And then you wait for a year and a half to it wouldn't matter, right? It wouldn't matter to you because you'd be rich as fuck. And so that's what I think to myself. I'm like, I wouldn't be on Twitter telling everyone about it. I suggest you don't do that. But guys, it's going to be a turbulent time. Me and Sam were just talking about Grayscale Premium, 33.26%. That's crazy. If you see the line on the chart, it goes, and it's bad news because that's Bitcoin that just shows, if we were reading, that just shows that it's not being bought up. Right, Sam? Real Bitcoin's not being bought up. But 33% discount premium shit is, I'd think about buying it if I somehow could. Rantfish, crypto, Bigfoot, everybody, Hex and Air. Share this out, guys. Share it out. Share it out or I'll fight you. Guys, it's your boy GRC. Sam Stoltz in the background. Bullish is in the background. We have DeFi proof with the Crypto in the Morning song. We're talking about Elon Musk. We're talking about it's basically liquidation watch around here. We're basically on 100% liquidation watch. We're excited to see what happens. I'm hodling. I'm trying to get as much money into USDC as I possibly can so I can make moves as I move forward. Guys, it's a crazy time to be in crypto. And if you're paying attention right now, there's a good chance you're going to be rich as absolutely could be, guys. DeFi proof. Crypto in the Morning, guys. Share it out.
You already know what time it is. Crypto in the morning. Crypto in the morning. Crypto in the morning. Waiting on phone. Crypto in the morning. 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 Waiting on phone. Crypto in the morning. Crypto in the morning. Smoking a blunt on my way to the gym. 11 a.m. and I'm already tuned in. Got me some hex and I'm making a stay. Got me some hedge and I'm making it rain. Pay me some maxi and that's just in case. Jim Reddit sent me to show you the way. Crypto in the morning. 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 Crypto in the morning.
Whoops.
It's a good jam there. I like that jam by DeFi Proof. I'm happy to be here. I'm excited to learn more about this nodes, right? Because we're gonna be
We're not learning about nodes today.
No, we're not learning about nodes today. But I'm just giving a preview for tomorrow so that everybody can come in tomorrow.
Yeah.
Because we just learned this morning that somebody in the community would put up money to maybe help solve this problem, but they cannot do it by themselves, and they need a team of smart people who are ambitious to solve this problem, right? You need nodes to operate, and you need the nodes for a lot of pieces. So there's a way to solve this issue for a pulse chain. And I don't know this off the top of my head, but it just came to me this morning when I did a video on nodes. It'll be out later today if you guys want to check it out. But I think, and Bullish or maybe somebody else who has more experience in this crypto space, nodes, the number of nodes on a network may track or correlate with market cap of that token, right? I actually checked BTC this morning, 16,000 nodes. What's called Ethereum, 6,000, 5,913, I think it was this morning. So the number of nodes per network may correlate with the market cap. Not saying it's a causation, but could have some type of an effect there in some people's minds who want decentralization, who want security and stuff like that. So that'll be an interesting conversation tomorrow. You guys should tune in 11 a.m. EST. This Dogecoin and Elon Musk stuff is very interesting, as well as all these leveraged plays by hedge funds like Three Arrow Capital.
Explain people what that means in just like a classic way. Like what are people doing with their money? Not specifically what asset, but what are people doing with their money? And then what happens in the time of crises, like when people are going to the door.
So leverage is what like allows you to amplify your returns. So hedge funds, I used to want to run my hedge fund. That's why I got the MBA and the CFA.
And it's a lot of kids think that that's what they want to do, but not necessarily once the reality of it comes forth. It's not everyone's shit.
Correct. And you have a leverage is like a sword where it cuts. It's a sword that has a blade on this side and a blade on this side. So when you're whacking at somebody, you can really cut them, right? But say if you hit something and it bounces back, you can chop your head open, right? That's how leverage works. So hedge funds will take money, other people's money. They will take that money and then they'll leverage it so they can increase their exposure. And when market turmoil happens, when you have giant sell-offs, when you have like just chaos upon chaos and fire this and fire that and collapse over here and this thing happening and this thing happening, that's when you get capital calls or margin calls. So the price of something comes down. What you used as collateral. We've talked about this in using liquid loans as collateral, like Pulse is collateral on liquid loans to pull out USDL. You're just holding a bunch of volatility risk.
I want to read this real quick just because it popped up on my feed. Bitcoin investors have locked in the largest USD denomination realized loss in history. Hold on for 1 second before I pull the chart up. Bitcoin investors, so that means the Bitcoin ecosystem as a whole has locked in the largest USD denomination realized loss in history last week. That means that's how much liquidations I guess there were.
Or yeah, I guess so.
Or people selling at a loss.
If it says realized, then that would mean they would have to sell it, right? Because if it's unrealized, then you're just holding paper and you haven't actually sold yet, or holding like crypto.
The BTC spent on chain this week realized net losses of over $4.23 billion. And yes, Richard was telling us this the entire time.
Wow.
That this was going to occur. He didn't know exactly the rate, I'm sure, but he had an idea because what has happened? History repeats itself. Not exactly, Sam. But it, like enough where you're like, like I don't know if it'll go 99% or 82%, but that's not really the point, right? Like the point is that's basically all of it. So, and people don't know this and anticipate this. Even the ones that are in Bitcoin don't know this a lot of the times. The eclipse all major sell-offs in 2021 and is the third X larger than the March 2020 crash. And then we'll view this thread reader real quick. We can inspect the coins sent by Bitcoin short-term holders directly to exchanges. Here we can see that the cohort locked in realized losses of 0.01 of the market cap per day. While significant, these STH losses are not as major sell-offs in the last 5 years.
What is STH?
STH to exchange.
Sent to exchange? Okay.
STH is sent to Realized losses. Yeah, I think that's what it. I think that was just the way that they put that, but I'm not sure. If anyone in the comments knows what STH is, I don't see that. Bitcoin long term. Oh, that's what it is. Long term holding. Oh no, it's not. Never mind. However, realized major losses equal to 0.007% of the market cap per day. This is almost as large as March 2020 in the first major LTH capitulation event in the 2021 cycle. We explored this further in our latest WOC. Profit and loss by return bands.
Click on that chart there. So what do we got here? Profit and loss return bands.
So the LTH realized losses, that's that we're at a, like, I guess it's just like highlighting the bottoms there. So if you,
probably based upon, I would think people actually buying and selling.
yeah,
but we don't actually know here, or two exchanges, right? So it says LTH's long-term hold from what you were just reading, two exchanges, and then the 30-day moving average.
I feel like this. Hold on a second. I feel like that almost was a manipulative article. You know what I mean?
Which way?
Because there's more economic mass in the system ever, and everything they highlighted was in the last 3 years where there was no major bear market. So it's like, of course, there's more. It's the bear market. It's the first bear market in 4 years. It's like 4 years ago there was less money in the system.
Wait,
so isn't that like? I mean, if you really told a 12-year-old that, they would understand that.
Correct.
But they're just making it into a large article that can get people to. I guess that's the point of articles. I don't know. That was a stupid article.
But that's right though, because if you think back in 2018,
the economic mass was just a pinch of what it is now.
What was the market cap in 2018? Anybody, let us know in the comments. Yeah. Because that versus what, $800 billion or
$100 billion.
Yeah. Like massive difference in the size of the market then versus now, and the total number of users in the market versus 2018 versus now, kind of thing.
Let's go to Elon real quick. I'm going to pull up Elon real quick and read this. Okay.
Yes. Cool. This is gonna be interesting. I think this is actually good for the space. So let's get into this.
Well, let's just see, because I haven't even read this. Crypto investor sues Elon Musk for $258 billion. That was dumb. I didn't even know that I didn't see that B when I first pulled this up. That's a little bit ridiculous. Over Dogecoin pyramid scheme, although that's probably how much he made on it. A cryptocurrency investor. I would have rather worded this article by saying that he like manipulated. What's it called when you manipulate the market a little bit? But like,
manipulating the market, or like insider trading is like,
yeah, like that's kind of what I mean. Like, I wish it kind of like just said insider trading. That would have made more sense to me, even though this is all fluff anyway. A cryptocurrency investor has sued Elon Musk. Investor, who is he? It's a lot of money. Saying the Tesla co-founder ran a pyramid scheme via Dogecoin. A lawsuit filed by plaintiff Keith Johnson in New York has accused Musk and his companies Tesla and SpaceX of running a pyramid scheme to inflate the price of the cryptocurrency. I don't know if running a pyramid scheme is proper verbiage. Like, it's like the worst verbiage ever. Like, it doesn't make. I guess they're just trying to like make people read through this and like what they read. But that's stupid to say because they're not running Dogecoin.
Well, but that's the thing. Like what you just mentioned a minute ago, they are writing articles to get clicks, whether it is accurate information or not.
Yeah, I'm so used to reading all these dense articles now that are actually good that I'm like, the lawsuit filed by plaintiff Keith Johnson has accused Musk and his companies of running a pyramid scheme. The lawsuit added defendants falsely and deceptively claim that Dogecoin is legitimate investment when it has no value at all. Well, nothing has value at all, if you think about it. According to the lawsuit, since defendant Musk and his corporation SpaceX and Tesla began purchasing, developing, investing, promoting, and supporting the Operation Dogecoin in 2017, plaintiff and the class have lost approximately $86 billion in what is called a crypto pyramid scheme. That number is so freaking not. That number is so not true. Like, you're telling me that people lost $86 billion in cash on fucking Dogecoin? No way.
The plaintiff would be the people who filed the lawsuit. So when they say plaintiff, right? 2019, plaintiff and the class have lost approximately $86 billion.
They just took the max
What
market
is-
cap. They just took the max market cap and divided it by what they had at the time.
I'm
And
gonna
now
look this up.
it's just like they're just using like the max leverage verbiage for retardation.
What is
The
the market?
lawsuit, the also
Market cap currently is $7.53 billion at 5.5 cents.
and it was probably 20 times that at the top.
So say I think you got up to 75 cents, right? So 0.75 divided by 0.056 is 13. So 13x. So let's just call it a 20x because that's even more conservative. Times $7.5 billion. That's $150 billion market cap for this at the top. And you're saying that you have over half of the people who
What if
owned
it's
all
the guy
of
who
Doge?
owned it? What if he's just doing a leverage play because it's the guy who owns it? So what if the guy who owns it at the top owned 50% of the circulating supply, and he is just doing this lawsuit because a lawyer came up to him and said you could probably pull it off. I mean, maybe pull it off.
No, correct.
Yeah, so like there's a lot more that goes into this stuff when you think about it. The lawsuit also details Musk's tweet and videos on Dogecoin over years. He has said some fucking stupid shit online about Dogecoin. I tell you what, there's some stuff that's come out of that man's mouth that I would never say about an asset. And in his position, he's done some stupid talking. The lawsuit also details Musk's tweets and videos on Dogecoin over the years. The lawsuit highlights how Musk referred to himself as Doge Father while promoting his appearance on NBC's Saturday Night Live on April 2021. That was the top that day. That was the top of Dogecoin that day right there.
I remember that.
Johnson, who is referred to in the lawsuits as an American citizen who has defrauded out of money by defending Dogecoin pyramid scheme, is suing $86 billion in damages, representing the drop in the cryptocurrency's value and asking to triple those losses in addition to $172 billion. Good call. Just throw that clause in there. Musk announced okay, this is the dumbest fucking article ever. I mean,
Yahoo knows. What do you expect? Yahoo.
I know, but geez Louise, like, okay, what did we get from that? There's a dude that's suing just to probably write this article.
Yes, and this is clearly doesn't seem like it's going to go anywhere at all. The dude, Keith Johnson, probably works for, who knows, right? Maybe works for a company that he knows that if he files this absolutely flagrantly ridiculous lawsuit against Musk, that he will be able to get free news, right? So if I'm in this mindset, and I'm Keith Johnson, I'm like, wait a second. If I file a lawsuit against Elon, against the Boring Company, against SpaceX, against Tesla, then I can get stupid folks at Yahoo, CNBC, all these other news organizations to talk about me, which increases the exposure of my name by a million X, which increases the exposure of my company, and I can grow my sales. So I can spend 20 grand to do this, but the amount of exposure I get from this is stupid, right? Like the amount of exposure and free media that you would have to pay to do this, to get so many different news organizations to write about you, is insane. So this guy's like, oh, Keith Johnson, I can do this and increase the sales of my company with a little $20,000 or $30,000 investment in terms of a lawsuit. Now I get all this additional exposure for my company. I mean, sounds like a pretty interesting business move, but do you think this is going to also increase like just people in crypto? I think this is just going to increase the number of adoption.
It's just so much fun bullshit at this point. Like I can't even think about it. But what I do know, guys, a little side tangent segment here. Richard's been on a tweeting absolute rampage, and I missed most of it. So I want to see what he's been tweeting about, because when he goes on rampages, they're usually
you should tell him to get a Tesla plan. It's faster than his Ferrari. But go ahead.
He's probably got a Tesla, but he only likes to put things online that are over $400,000.
I'll sell him one for $400.
Richard Hart was right, Jar. Yes, I'll actually retweet that. You get some likes for that. Fun fact: did you know I was a licensed mortgage broker? No, I did not, Richard Hart. That's awesome.
I commented on that one.
Did you? What'd you say?
So was I, and I ended up becoming a direct lender.
I was gonna ask him for some money. A retired self-made millionaire, and and then what happened then? He didn't want to work anymore like that. That's
No,
mortgage.
you know, there's a lot of people. There's a lot of people who got rich during that time. A lot of fucking people got rich during that time.
So the smart people were there.
I was the wreck pleb that spent all my money.
Well, timing's everything, you know.
Yeah.
So pull this chart up here because this
mortgage costs have doubled in 1.5 years. Real estate is screwed, and I can confirm this because I bought my house at the absolute pit bottom of the market, 2.5% premium. You can see it right at the bottom there. At the bottom, I had no idea what I was doing. Of course, it was totally random, and that's just the way the cookie crumbled. And that's when I bought my house. So now what do I have? A house that has doubled in value. I have done nothing to the house other than like just be cool, nice to the yard. So think about that, Sam. My mortgage is next to nothing. My renters cover my mortgage completely. And it's not even like, but my house, they said, would be double. The mortgage would be double. I wouldn't be able to afford that.
Oh, correct. And
like right now, I just don't think I could afford that.
No, you're right.
That's for real for most people, though. I'm just talking like as the like the market. It's crazy. What do you think, Sam, with your experience and all this shit? What happens now? What can happen now? I don't, like worst case scenario, normal case scenario. What do you think when it comes to, because you know a lot about real estate. You think about real estate all the time.
I do.
And so the only thing that I don't understand about real estate is I don't see the downward, like it feels a lot harder to get downward pressure on the market, if you know what I mean, because everyone wants houses when they get to a certain age. And it's just like they'll take the L at that moment because they're just wanting to buy a house. Nobody thinks about like all this shit before they buy a house. Rare people. So talk to me, classic sentiment. What do you think?
Well, so this over the last several years, we've got like big shifts happening in the world related to housing. Single family houses have never been an asset class really in institutional world. So you've got pension funds, hedge funds, REITs, large amounts of money that have never viewed single family homes as an investment class, right? You'd look at like bonds, you look at equity, you look at foreign shit, you look at PE type stuff. You look at all these different types of ways. You look at different types of derivatives and whatnot to invest your capital in. Over the last several years, single family homes have now been turned into an asset class that institutional money is pouring their funds into. So you have this shift that's happening on the one hand. And then if you look back at 2008, there was a steep drop off in the number of new builds that took place. I have a chart that I'm going to pull up and actually show you this. So if you look at, let me see if I can make this a little bit bigger. Is that helpful? A little bit bigger than this. This is an interesting chart by this consulting group that I follow on Instagram. Should check them out. So this is housing construction backlog. Right?
Okay, so this kind of like the way in this world, how you kind of look at some of these numbers would be going to the construction side, which makes sense because you have to build the house.
And so what this chart represents is the number of construction permits over the last 40 years for new builds, right? So this is how many houses are getting built plus the permit associated with that house. And as remember, 2006, right? We saw that peak here. Then you see this gigantic drop off. So what happened during this drop off? Well, demand continued. Like you said, when people get to a certain age, some people are like, hey, I want to buy a house.
People are buying houses at rates right now that are crazy.
And which put us at a deficit. So there was this wedge. We had this demand, right, that stayed the same or didn't change too much, but the amount of new houses or inventory coming on the market drastically came down. And so we're in this period where for the last several years, right, over a decade, we've been in a housing, quote, like crisis of demand, right? We have the shift where institutional money is coming in. They're taking inventory off the market. Now, when you think about institutional money taking houses off the market, you're like, okay, cool. Well, they're taking houses off the market, but then they're going to sell them again. That is an incorrect belief of the future. If I'm a hedge fund or a REIT or any type of fund that is acquiring single family houses, and I acquire portfolio 1,500 single family homes, 2,500, 25,000. If I go to sell those, I will not be breaking that down. I will take that whole 25,000 homes that I own and I will flip that to another fund. I will flip that to Goldman Sachs. I'll flip that to a REIT. I'll flip that to BlackRock. And so we had this big gap where institutional money is pulling houses off the market. We're not making enough houses. And now this is just the first time. I just saw this yesterday. I think this post came out 23 hours ago. 2 million homes under construction and permitted. Highest level on record. Just housing demand is plummeting, right? Because of the chart literally that you just showed relative to the cost to borrow a house. I don't know what's going to happen. I think that when he's talking about, or he or she is talking about plummeting demand here, they're talking more so in terms of people like you and I, not institutional money, because institutional money will continue to soak these up. They will continue to purchase these houses and they will rent them to the people watching this show.
In the meantime, yeah.
So I don't know. I saw this was kind of interesting. This is the highest level in the last 40 years of new houses getting built.
Damn, that one drop is crazy though.
But look at this spike up. This means that we could. I don't think people are like, oh, then you're going to have a surplus of inventory. I don't see that happening personally. In certain markets, maybe like California, New York, potentially in like certain cities, but across the nation, I just don't see that happening. We're like 5 million houses down, relatively speaking, or something like that. So I don't see that happening. Will the cost of borrowing come down? That's an interesting question, because the cost of borrowing, like Richard Hart has put out, has just gone up astronomically. Your rate,
ridiculous.
Your rate. When did you buy your house?
2.5 years ago.
And what was your interest rate?
I think it was 3.1 at the time, and then like 6 months later, I refied for 2.5. So,
which is amazing. You're basically getting free money. 2.5% interest rate on your mortgage. 2.5%. Right? Interest rates now are more than double, probably like a triple.
6.1 to 6.3 or something.
And that's assuming that you're able to check a bunch of the boxes that they want you to check. So I'm super curious to see what's going to take place. Or is all the institutional money, the Reset 2030 agenda thing that people put out around, like, you'll own nothing and you'll love it? I mean, if costs are that high, most people don't have the financial discipline to come up with even 3% of the purchase price of a house to be able to do that. So, there's a decent chance which a lot of that inventory just goes into institutional money, which is like the hedge funds, the banks, the REITs, and then they just take those properties and they rent them back to all these fuckers trying to buy houses. I don't know.
Guys, we're going to watch a 5-minute clip. And I've been paying homage to RH a lot in the last couple of days because he freaking saved my butt. He saved my butt from another year of me being at zero. You know what I mean? And I didn't have to if I knew what I was doing. And the only reason I knew what I was doing is because I found his shit. Because I didn't believe all the random people on YouTube. But like when I got into him, like he was tagging Drake with his $700,000 watch. I was like, this dude knows what the fuck he's doing. I was like, I don't give a shit what you're saying. And so let's watch this video. I remember when this one came out. And this was again when he was getting horrible negative press, horrible. This dude's interview was absolutely dreadful. But like, Richard still got his fantastic points across.
Less than 6% actually. And I do that for free. I give away that knowledge for free. I did
Was
the
that
same
April
thing
12?
last cycle. I think it was, yeah. I think that.
Yeah, that's funny. I had a call in January as well, April. That's funny. It was a CPI day. Aside from
Coinbase
that,
launch, easy buy the rumor, sell the news event, amongst other things. My top call on Bitcoin has been in profit for 8.5 months now. Only a single day was it out of profit, a little tiny bit. For the Judas candle, It got people long, and then it immediately dumped and got them wrecked. I get it right over and over and over again, and time proves me right. I called the Bitcoin top on the day 9 months ago, and that top call has been in profit every single day for 9 months except one little blip, 6%, Judas candle to get everyone long, and then it went down 41%. And now it's sitting down about 38, 39% right now as we speak. I was right. Everyone else was wrong.
Yes.
This happens over and over and over again in more than one area.
So it's down 38% now.
Yeah.
Does that mean that this is a good time to buy? What's
I don't think
going
so.
on? Where's it going next? No.
No, when it falls out of the parabola, it goes up with a parabolic rise. When it falls out of the parabola, it tends to drop 85% of its value. So 85% down from 69K is 11K. Oh, by the way, I saw someone post a thread on Twitter. They're like twitter.com/Richard Hartwin. They're saying, what do you think Richard's going to say on the next live stream? And they put some common ones. Some of the commons were, hi, I called the Bitcoin top 9 months ago, and it's been profit every single day, except for one, for every day of those 9 months now. Who else called the top on the day? Hello, everybody. Richard Hart here. I called the Bitcoin top on the day 10 months ago, while everyone else told you it was going to $100,000. There was a 65K top, and then it went down 55%, under 30K, and then it bounced. It went up to 69, back down to doom again. Now it's at 35. So, bounces aren't illegal. You do get bounces. As a matter of fact, I called a bounce, and my tweet was the literal exact bottom of the bounce. I said, look, we're due for a 12% bounce. We got the 12% bounce, and then we went and did new doom.
Can you pause?
Who does it better? Nobody does it better.
Do you have the actual call from this time that he says he calls it?
It's a tweet. It's a tweet. I probably looked at it a million times. It's just a tweet that said on the day. Literally, it was on the day. You can just look at the and we could probably pull it up. I could probably find it. And
or bullish.
Maybe
bullish if you
he
can't
just
find
drew
it.
the parabola and he said, "Oh, we fell out of the parabola. Like, the bull market's over." That's like basically all he said with the long description of a bunch of technicals, and then but he didn't necessarily 100% know. But I mean, that insight just makes me feel like he has the most Bitcoin.
Why? Explain that for a second. So why do you?
I mean, what if he called it on the day, but he knew all his buddies were selling, and they're all the rich people. Like, when I say to him, I mean like his whatever kind of like invest. These guys don't hang out by themselves all day, right? Like, there's guys like, if I had this kind of money, I'd be talking to guys like Motley, you, Bullish. If we all had this, we would just be chatting it up, and we would be laughing on our yacht while everyone else suffered. But he's nice enough to at least tell us what he really thinks. Dude, you call 11K forever. That's not really popular thing to say.
Correct.
Not at all. 100K is very much more popular.
Correct.
But he understands reputation is important, and he's way past all that shit. Like I think he's a leader of all of it, so he doesn't want to be like, he's like, this is where he can stick out compared to others because we're still so new. People can really figure out this now, but it's still very hard. But you can figure it out now, where in 5 years, you really might not be able to figure it out. Like, they're just going to be telling you, selling you, giving you whatever you're going to get. And all of us are going to be laughing on our yachts.
I think for myself, if Bitcoin does go down to 11K or very close to 11K, that, like, I don't have the same context as you do on Richard Hart in terms of the depth over several months, what I mean, or a year at this point plus of looking into his shit, right?
Yeah, I had money in the bank too, so I was paying attention. Like I bought 1.7 Bitcoin or something, or 1 Bitcoin, 1.2 Bitcoin at like 3,400, and once I started looking at cryptos at like 57K, and I didn't know what was going on, and I was like, "Holy shit, the fuck is going on here?" And then I started looking deep. I was like, I got to figure out what's going on here so I can not mess this up. And I did. I figured out exactly what was going on. And it took a couple months, but
I think that would help me. That would help me if that actually does take place, because this call, right, that is, just pointing out something in the market and then saying it's more than what it is at the time, than what it is at the time, in my mind, right, is if it's saying that it could go to 11,000 and then it actually goes through 11,000, in my mind adds more credibility, because I don't have the same context, I don't have the same time.
And he knows that. He
yeah.
knows that to be true. That's why he does this shit. He pays attention, man. He does not want to be wrong. And that's why I feel like when he says these definite numbers, I'm a little bit like, I'll be sticking to those numbers. I'll be looking real close at those numbers. And that's why I think people should be careful with their hex bags too, because if we do dump to 11K, hex will probably dump again.
Okay, well, you had made an interesting point, and we can get back into the video in a second. Well, so you would make an interesting point earlier before we came on the show about this, right? So I agree, right? If we see a dump from 20 grand, right, it's 25 right now, 2,500 right now for BTC. If we see a dump down to $11,000 or $12,000, you could see a sell off in hex. And you had mentioned that, like, oh, it looks like there could be support or whatever, or buying pressure at this point and in this point in hex.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to touch on that real quick? Because I wouldn't mind picking up some hex for less than a penny.
Yeah. So basically, if you look at the chart, I'm not going to pull up the chart, but because it's not, if you've seen the chart a million times, basically, if you look at the chart, you see where people are buying, right? And where's the last time they bought and how many people were buying at that time. And the last major capitulation zone is like right under a penny, and right under 2 pennies. So like right under 2 pennies is what is my next target for limit orders. And once we get to that point, if Bitcoin still has room to go down, and I'm just thinking on my feet here, guys, I'm going to expect the next buying spot would be 0.007.
70% of a penny. You guys heard it here first. GRC said that hex is going in the toilet. Just kidding. Just kidding. But no, that would be interesting. I would love to pick up.
So that's
hex
as low
for a
as
fraction
I
of a
think
penny.
it can go with like any realisticness. Like, you know what I mean? And it will be absolutely incredible. And for guys that are new, having fiat on the sideline, don't spend it all in one time. Don't do that. Very much don't do that. You're going to really be upset if you run out of money and hex is at 0.007. I promise you'll be upset.
So that would be think about this for a second. At 22,100 hex per T share, right? So I don't know what the specific rate is. I know it's around 22,000. So
yeah, just put 22K in. That's fine.
22,100 hex at a price of 0.007 per hex. That's $155 per T share. $155 per T share versus at the low, you had mentioned people were getting it for 60 cents per T share.
Yeah, and see, that's a good rate. Like, that's a good fair rate for what hex has done, for what it's. And I'm just being honest, like, doesn't matter how many billionaires are in hex. Like, those guys need to get washed a little bit, because if you have that much money in the system, it's just not helpful. Not very helpful. You need to spread it out a little bit more, because the explosive gains. But that's the game, right? And what dip from the top would that be? 0.007, 99%?
Probably more than 9. Yes, it's gonna be 99 point.
Close to 90. Yeah. So, and I think that's Cardano did a 99% dump, and it's fucking trash, and it hit all-time highs again.
About 99%.
Yeah. So
99.
It's gonna be right under 99%, right?
Yeah, something like that.
Like
so yeah, it would be like 90. Let me just do the math on it. Okay, 0.007 divided by 0.56 minus 1. So that would be 98.75%. 98.75%. So that's a big drop off, but that is perfect, right? I just saw somebody in the comments that said they have 50 G's, 50 racks up, ready to go. Corey, good job, awesome. Are you DCAing in like $2,000 a week or something?
He's
or $3,000 a week?
He's waiting like a sniper. You
can.
Corey's been around for a minute. He's probably,
so a strategy that people, if you like hacks and if you want to acquire more hacks and you would like to do it at a discount regularly, Matcha XYZ, I think 1inch does it, but I haven't looked. Matcha allows you to put in limit orders. So effectively, if you're like, hey, I'm going to DCA $5,000 a month, $1,000, $500 a month, whatever that is, you can set it up for 1 week where, say, the price now for Hex is 3.3, right? So what you can do is get into Matcha XYZ, set in a limit order for, say, 2.8 cents, right? 2.8 cents per Hex for your $500 for your $5,000. And if over the next week it hits that, then you hopefully can get executed at that price. And you just were able to buy at that wick where it came down. You know how sometimes you see the price wick down and then it goes right back up to some level where it's kind of slightly been sitting? Well, you can set this up in advance. So if you guys are like, hey, I want to buy more and I can put in $300 a week, or I could put in a couple grand a month, then that's how you can do it to get it in at a cheaper price. You can do the same thing on exits to sell at a higher price.
Yeah, just if you're a retail buyer, you should just try to make more money and always have USDC ready. You never want to end your position on USDC. So like you'd rather not buy in now with the last $500 that you have and just wait, because it's not, FOMO wise, you're just going to be pissed. And then you're going to, what up, crypto stylist? What up? I'm going to say what's up to everyone. Guys, share this out. Hit the like, first of all, smash that like button. Biceps in the chat. We're going to play a couple more RH videos because you know what? I don't give a shit. I think RH is awesome. I love the way he represents himself as far as in a technical way, like not necessarily with all the brand stuff. I don't care about all that. He probably knows more about that shit than me too. So good on him. I think what he's doing is probably smart in this day and age as far as tagging Drake and $600,000 watches, all that shit. That's fair game nowadays, isn't it? I mean, come on.
Yeah.
If you had $100 million, Sam, would you spend $600K to flex on some celebrities that might give you 1 million views if they interact with it whatsoever?
Well, if you can, right? We were talking about that Keith Johnson guy who's suing Elon Musk, Twitter, and SpaceX. I'm sorry, Tesla and SpaceX, right? Mm-hmm. Think about that. If I was like, hey, GRC, we're trying to grow our brand and we've got, $1 million to do that. So we can go out and hire influencers to try to get people's minds, or give Facebook money or give Google money and try to spend this to get in front of people. Or I have this crazy idea. Why don't we sue the fuck out of RH, and then we get all these little peons to talk about us and we live in their minds free?
Why don't we just get someone to write an article about us suing RH and never hire a lawyer? Because let's be 100% clear. There is no transactions going on unless it's like under the table, just like, thanks for doing this for me. There's no lawyer work going on here. There was absolutely baseless claims in every single sentence that made no sense and had no ground. Every single sentence. I did that for clickbait today, guys. I'm a YouTuber, okay? I was doing the Elon thing, but I only wanted to do it for 10 minutes just to get it over with. But I knew before, and me and Bullish were laughing, and I was like, this is gonna be dumb as shit. And he was like, yeah, it's probably gonna be dumb as shit. And I was like, whatever. But what's not dumb as shit? Let's watch this video of RH.
But that's what he's doing potentially with this.
No, I think that's exactly what he's doing. When you show someone a $682,000 watch, I don't care if it's me. I don't know shit about watches. I don't think it's that cool. But I would be like, oh, how did you get that money? And I don't care what anyone says, because nobody wants to get honest like that. But I'd be like, if I was in a room alone with him, I'd be like, dude, how do you get that shit? Like, can you, if you have anything you could teach me about business or whatever, please. That's what I would say. I wouldn't have to rehearse it or anything. It's the first thing that comes out of my mouth. People DM me all the time. I'm like, do you know shit that I don't? And they either say yes or no. And I'm like, if they say yes, I'm like, fucking write it out. I want to know what it is.
I want to learn. Teach me, because I want to learn
anything. That's why David Feeder, all these guys are coming on here, heavy hitters. Dude, tomorrow's episode is going to be insane. Might be a 2-hour episode, guys. And we might even get special. Who knows what's going to happen tomorrow? I'm going to play this real quick. This is a good one.
So you guys like counterparty risk for 7%?
Whoop, you muted it. We cannot hear the video.
And that when you run one of these stupid fucking services of which you're describing,
back up 10 seconds or something in the video, but
order book
keyboard.
Negotiating token to pay out interest. Wouldn't a CD equivalent be in stable coins? I think I'd have to agree there.
Yeah,
I'm thinking about it.
Lol. So you guys like counterparty risk for 7% is what you like, right? You like giving up your keys. You like to give up your fucking keys for 7%. You understand that when you run one of these stupid fucking services of which you're describing, there's a buyer's order book side, a seller's order book side, and then a counterparty that handles the order matching, and you get fucked with scam wicks and they run off with all the money, right? So you give your keys to BlockFi or Celsius, and they give your keys to fucking BitGo or Gemini. And then they say they're going to pay you some rewards if the government doesn't seize your coins, and if there's not a technical failure, and if BitGo doesn't run away with your coins for 7% in crypto. Bitcoin's up 700,000x, which is 7 million%. And you fuckers are risking your whole stack for 7%. Doesn't seem wise to me. Hex solves that by having trustless interest, which is likely to appreciate more. Because in those systems that you're talking about,
Great verbiage with
everyone's just
likely,
sitting on their
because
fucking
it's
coins
very
and not
true.
using them anyway, lots of people are happy to take that counterparty risk. And you know what it does? It drives the return down. So they used to be offering 14%, and now they're offering 7%. And I wouldn't be fucking surprised if in 2 years they were offering 3 or 4, because people are so stupid. They love to give up their private keys. They love it. They just can't wait to give up their private keys.
And what if I just use Cardano or like Tezos instead and call that a CD?
Then you can do that. There are proof of stake products which give you a yield. You can get yield in Bitcoin by buying mining hardware. You usually lose. You can get yield in proof of stake. You can get yield in masternodes. The difference is they are not the same product. They don't pay you more if you lock longer, and you can dump whenever the fuck you want. In Tezos, you have to wait 22 days to dump. That's not the same product. They're competing. They're different products.
Fair enough. Yeah, completely different feature sets. The other side. Yeah. Okay.
Not completely different, but we pay more if you lock longer, and that's what a CD does, and none of those do.
Richard.
That's interesting. The master nodes is actually what I was learning about this morning in the video that I did.
That's what we were. Yeah.
Master nodes, I believe, are for chains that allow smart contracts or DAOs, right? So if you have an ability for your chain to operate smart contracts, as in a DAO, right, that allows voting, a master node allows voting. A master node has a copy of a blockchain. A master node has all these extra things, and it's basically the node on steroids. So you have like a much larger, not much larger, but a larger feature set that this node is required to do. But by doing that, you can actually earn a yield on this. So that would be interesting. I saw some Gnosis master nodes for like $1,300, $1,800, where you can earn a yield on those. I don't know anything about Gnosis. I don't know what the Gnosis chain is or any of that shit, but we can create a node that allows you to earn yield, also having an interface that allows you to save money if you want to do transactions. Think of like an app on your node that allows you to do Uniswap type shit, but through your node, so it's way safer. Instead of going through another protocol, you connect directly into Ethereum or Pulse to do that. And we can create this all in a node. We can create the largest node network, obviously probably behind like Apple or Google or Amazon or HNT Helium, because they have the largest in crypto space. HNT has the largest node network. There's also maybe a possibility where we could work something with them to actually be part of their node network, because they've got nearly 1 million, last time I checked, nearly 1 million nodes. That's going to have massive network effects. If you can build a network like that of nodes that you can build stuff on top of, think about what the capabilities are for HNT. And if we could lock into that, right? HNT could just get rid of Verizon, AT&T, Comcast, all these pieces, and be the internet of the world. And it's growing at such a fast pace. If Pulse can somehow tie into their nodes, Bullish or somebody else with more technical knowledge on that would probably have a better idea. Tomorrow at 11 o'clock, maybe the dude we talked to tomorrow will have a better idea.
Some problems with the Helium node that people talk about sometimes in like using those. in some-
The main issue with helium and doing it is that it requires specific hardware. So so that's the main issue. So there's other ways. I totally get what you're saying, but there's other ways we can do it, like similar to like.
Does that
creating-
monopolize the companies that give them that hardware and it costs more? Or is
Well,
it-
right now it's certified by one company. There's other ways of doing it, but if you want like the one that's going to produce the most yield, you got to get a certified one. But there's other ways we can do it.
But there's a lot. It's not like Bitcoin where there's like 3 companies that produce these mining
Right.
things.
You just have to
There's
find a
like
manufacturer,
45.
etc.
There's a
Right.
bunch of different companies that
Yeah, and there's other things we can do and tap into, whether it's moisture sensor and figuring out a way that what company we can sell that data to, or IoT devices. There's other applications that we can figure out to add into this device to monetize it. So yeah, we just got to explore all those options and see what we come up with, see what's the best.
And if you guys have any ideas, or if you know of anybody in the space, or if you are in this space and you're like, yes, nodes are an issue, right? Ethereum is centralized. Ethereum does have Amazon that owns about 40% or controls about 40%. And remember the app Parler? Did you ever use the app Parler? Parler is more of like the solution to censorship that came out, and there was a lot of more right-leaning folks on this app. And you know what Amazon did? It's like, bitch, you can't use our servers. You don't think for half a freaking second that Amazon doesn't like the political beliefs, doesn't like the way things are operating, or just doesn't like Vitalik for some reason, won't just say AWS will no longer do business with this, and we will no longer support this. That's 40%. 40% of all of there's only 6,000 nodes on the largest cryptocurrency, the second largest cryptocurrency. And Amazon controls 40% of those. We can solve this for Pulse Chain. You got another video that we're going to take a look at?
So I got another video, guys. This one is this was a classic. This is 2 years ago ish. I remember watching. Well, no, this was probably 18 months ago. I remember watching this live, and this guy's name is Peter McCormick, and he's basically the biggest moron ever. He's like a Michael Saylor with way less money, and but he just hates on Richard, baseless claims, doesn't know anything about crypto. But this is probably just Richard spitting absolute diamond alpha. Guys, real quick before I play it, if you if you like this content, if you enjoy us being on here every single day, please like and subscribe. Please share this out. Follow us. All the links are below. I have an Ethereum address below. If you want to support the channel, go ahead and send me all your money, because God knows I don't know what's going to happen in the next 18 months. I'm going to hold it down over here, but I need some I need steaks the whole time. That's the problem. I'm addicted to the grill. I'm addicted to this grilling steak, dude. I can't stop grilling steak, bro. So good.
I had 2 steaks for breakfast. Oh,
dude,
so
every day I've been just cooking this big steak, eating the whole thing, just one piece at a time, and it's just so good. Anyway, guys, I just if you like this show, please like and share the content. That's the most important. Subscribe to the content. If the more people that know about this, they will be saved. Trust me, they will be saved. If you send someone to this channel, I will save them, because I pay attention to the right information. Okay, let's go.
Crypto is designed to get rid of counterparties. This motherfucker promotes a counterparty. He doesn't want you to hold your own keys. He wants to give your keys to BitGo, who's the fucking security trustee for BlockFi. That's what Peter wants to do. Peter wants to make money on getting your keys out of your hands. It might be. But I thought it was BitGo. Okay.
It's nice manipulative language you're using here. I want you to get. No, I don't.
Financial markets, you get paid on it, dog.
Financial products.
You are literally getting paid to promote people giving their keys up to a central counterparty to get fucking exit scammed. You're part of that shit. You're scamming piece of shit, but you don't realize it. You are a fucking scammer, Peter. Yeah, you're making money on people fucking themselves over, losing their privacy, getting scam wicked, and giving their fucking keys to somebody else is how you make your money. Do you know how I make my money? By giving people free shit. Yeah, by giving people free shit. Free shit is what I give out.
There's no free money.
Yeah, there is, motherfucker. I double click an EXE and got Bitcoin on my computer for fucking free. And you gonna tell me that wasn't free because I paid a penny for electricity or some shit? So if I give you a free cheeseburger, it's not free because you had to walk and receive it? You're a fucking scammer, dude. You're a broke ass scammer who ain't doing shit for the world but promote fucking scams and mislead people
Definitely not broke.
and act like a thought leader that doesn't know shit about a technology. As a matter
No,
of
I
fact, what
definitely
you
don't know
should do is fire yourself and hire someone like Giacomo that actually has a brain in his fucking head, right? And he says he don't make much money. Why don't you fire your ass because you ain't good at your job? Hire Giacomo and let him do your job better than you.
Do you want
Because
to
you don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Are you going to continue with your triggered rant? Okay.
I could, but I'll let you do it. Go ahead. What do you
Okay,
wanna
so
talk about?
you see, you said I don't know shit. Have I
Yeah.
ever admitted to understanding the
No.
technology
No,
behind
you're very
Bitcoin?
honest about not knowing shit. Like,
Yes, I'm very
I'm not
honest.
accusing you of
Okay.
being loud.
That's kind of funny, but interesting point there.
But that's where we're coming from as Hexicans. Like, that's the content that gets spilled all over the internet. And that's why he gets a bad name, because guys like that have a really good name because they lie. They just lie about everything and they make themselves very, very popular.
Mhm.
But that's not even passionate RH. That's not even killer RH. Like, RH has freaked out so bad on stream before, gotten reckless, millions of dollars of stuff, showing it all the time. People don't like it. But I see what he's doing because he's got nowhere to punch. Intellectually, people just say he's a scammer. So what is he going to do other than show people that he's smart by calling the top and giving $500 million of free hex to people for owning Bitcoin?
That's an interesting clip there about being aggressive. A lot of the stuff you hear and you're just kind of tuning it out because it's just repeat right type stuff. So it is interesting that there's such a strong opinion on that guy or whatever and how much of a scam it is, and promoting getting rid of your private keys and whatnot. There's a lot of people out there that do take advantage of people's, like, what are some like human nature features that like most humans have? Well, they want to take the easy way out, right? They want to take the easy way out. They want
to feel better.
They want to feel better. And how
they don't want to do anything for it.
And smart people will play on that. They will tell people that you don't have to do anything. I'll do all this for you. Don't worry about it, bro. I got you. Just give me your money.
That's what the banks do.
And they take advantage of it. They take advantage of people like that all the time. And people don't realize, because I might tell, right? If I'm talking to you, I might make it sound complex so that you think it is outside of your realm of understanding or your ability to grasp, or it's too much work. Remember, they want an easy way out, and people like that will actually use that to get out. I wouldn't be surprised if that's what Grayscale is doing. I think we were going to also touch on Bitcoin and what Bitcoin is doing relative to Grayscale. I don't know if you want to bring that up now. Grayscale, I'll bring this up. Will you find that? Grayscale is kind of interesting.
Let's just talk about it first so people know what's going on.
So
I'll be right back. I got a piece of it.
Okay. Grayscale is effectively a trust that only owns one asset. So Grayscale is something that's traded over the counter, and they take investors' money and they charge a 2% fee in order to manage this money for other people. As you can see here, this chart, let's see, can you see this? Okay. The top line is BTC. This orange line here is Grayscale, and this blue line is the S&P 500. You get to see how much better Grayscale has performed relative to the S&P 500, but relative to Bitcoin, because the 2% fee is not doing well. This paragraph here describes them. Grayscale Bitcoin Trust is a different beast. This investment vehicle is managed like a stock-based trust fund and presented to investors in the form of stock on the OTC market. The trust invests directly into BTC and has no other holdings. This setup is subject to rules and regulations that don't necessarily apply to bare Bitcoin asset, which allows investors who crave or require regulated securities to invest in BTC through this channel. What is that? This sentence here is important. It's this last bit here, which allows investors who crave or require regulated securities to invest in Bitcoin through this channel. This type of thing has been taking place for decades, but they would use derivative instruments. I think there's a piece of legislation called ERISA, ESISA, I think it is, something along those lines. And it's tied into another piece of legislation related to stocks and how people who invest other people's money need to follow these guidelines. And in there, they say that if you're managing other people's money, say maybe a mutual fund, right, an ETF, that the things that you're allowed to invest into need to be regulated, right? They need to be regulated. This piece of legislation is why when we had the leak related to the 600 pages of legislation that's going to come out to regulate crypto, this is why it's actually a good thing, because of this institutional money that comes into crypto would be able to come into crypto because you have legislation now. Currently, legislation says that if you're managing other people's money, you cannot put it into crypto. So this grayscale, by structuring it as a trust, allows a backdoor way for this money that says you're not allowed to invest into this area, right? The law says in the United States, probably elsewhere around the world
And
too.
you think that this is bullish for Bitcoin, but just in the short term, people, that rate makes people, but that's just short term because the bear market, like that's just how it looks. But you're kind of saying in general, you think it's bullish just because there's more money coming in eventually.
There's more money coming in, but I didn't pull up the discount, so I don't have the discount thing that you had. I don't know if you still
33.26% this morning.
So what is that effectively saying, right?
That
Grayscale.
You can buy over there, and it's going to go up in a year and a half rather than buy regular Bitcoin because it's cheaper. At Grayscale, Bitcoin's cheaper, and those people have more money anyway.
Now, we talk about arbitrage a lot, how you can say buy something super cheap over here, and then you just turn around and you sell this digital thing over here for more, and you just make the money on there. Well, as far as I'm aware, there's no way to arb that discount. So what if there was a way to arb? If there's somebody can create a way to actually arb that discount, what somebody could do is they could go buy Grayscale and then take that Grayscale at a 33% discount, right? Tax or BTC is trading at 20 grand. So you could basically buy it at $14,000. You could buy Bitcoin at $14,000, turn around and flip it for 20 grand, and you could arb that away and make that profit. That is currently not the case. So this is showing institutional money is not putting their money into Bitcoin right now, and there's a massive discount of 33%. This is going to be super interesting. I don't know if Grayscale has ever actually traded at a premium. Do you know if Grayscale has ever traded at a premium? So
I can look at that.
That would be interesting if Grayscale, crypto curricula. Grayscale, like MicroStrategy, is a good vehicle for investors to short Bitcoin when it's not trading at a massive discount. There's no way. Oh, it has. Okay. Wendy says it has traded at a premium. Okay.
The highest premium, the historical average premium has been 39%, while GBTC's highest premium recorded was 132.6%, and the lowest was negative 0.3%. Grayscale Ethereum, yeah. So that was for Bitcoin, and then it goes into
you could kind of use that as a sentiment for
that's kind of where I was getting at too. It's almost just like another marker. Like it's going to happen because it has too slow, short orca. Everyone, Wendy's, what's up? How you doing, brother?
What's up, Wendy's? Hope you're feeling well.
Yep, Wendy's is over in Puerto Rico chilling. The discount / premium will go away when and if it's an ETF. What does that mean, Sam?
Exchange traded fund. It's basically a mutual fund with lower fees.
Oh, I see. I see what you're saying. It's interesting. Yeah, just smashing the gym.
Yes.
Motley's Motley's and Wendy's have been living in the gym.
Nice. It's about time. About time you guys need to catch up a little bit.
We have this here. And we could read through this, and I want you to just comment, and I'll just kind of read. Three Arrows fails to meet margin calls after its crypto bets turn sour. So, Sam, explain what that means to someone who doesn't have any financial knowledge.
So, say you put money into liquid loans, and you use your Pulse as collateral, and you put this is the thing this is how people are going to relate to this, right?
Yeah, no, that's a perfect way. I was thinking about it. I was just talking to Jesse earlier this morning. And I like
Nah, I mean, I like liquid loans. I'm not saying anything.
I do.
I'm
trying to learn about it still.
So, say you do 10 grand or 100 grand, and you borrow, say you borrow 50 grand against it. So you have $100,000 of Pulse. You borrow 50% of that. So you borrow USD out and you go buy your Tesla, you go get your toenails clipped or whatever it is that you want to get done. And then you have a 95% drop in Pulse. Well, what does that mean? That you went from 200% over collateralized. Now you're not over collateralized anymore, and your shit gets sold. So at that point, when you do it in the traditional sense, like with Three Arrow Hedge Fund here, if the price drops that I have of the collateral that's securing my loan from them, which is also called leverage or margin, right, is another way to think about this. So I have this collateral that is a risky asset. So that means I'm holding volatility, and I borrow against this thing. This thing here that is volatile, that is the risk I'm holding, drops in price. Now, when it gets close to where I don't have any over collateral anymore, meaning the amount I borrowed equals the amount of the collateral. So your Pulse comes down to 50,000. I borrowed 50,000, right? I'm not over collateral. At that point, the bank's like, hey, GRC, you took out a loan from us for $50,000 and you had collateral of 100 grand at the time, but we require you to have a minimum of a 30% over collateralization on this loan. And you need to put up 30 grand more. And in this case, Three Arrow was like, oh shit, we don't have 30 grand to put up. And and then they got liquidated.
So let's see how major this is. Cryptocurrency hedge funds, Three Arrow Capital, has reportedly failed to meet margin calls from its lenders, further adding pressure to solvency risk after it incurred at least $400 million in liquidations earlier in the week, ended June 17th, according to people familiar with the matter. Nice. Love that journalistic just prowess, really. As reported by the Financial Times on Thursday, crypto lender BlockFi, my biggest enemy is BlockFi. I hate BlockFi. I've hated BlockFi from the second Anthony Pompliano started shilling it, because I was like, why is this dude shilling? I thought he was rich. BlockFi was among the firms that liquidated some of the Three Arrows holdings, the people told the FT. In other words, BlockFi reduced its exposure by taking collateral that fund had put down to back its borrowing, the people added. Fake money to back fake money to give you fake money on the internet. What a life we live, guys. The Dubai-based crypto investment firm, which is known to make bullish levered bets on digital coins, had borrowed Bitcoin, BTC USD, from BlockFi. Through it wasn't able to meet margin calls as the price of the world's largest digital token by market cap erases all of last year's margin gains and then some, explained to the FT. Yeah, man, we're back at right at the bottom of last year's prices. Well, not the bottom.
Why is leverage like appealing to people? If you had to describe why leverage is
well, one, it's sellable. So if I wanted to make money doing something in crypto, and I didn't care about my rep as much, I could say, I know how to do this thing, guys. And they're going to say, what? And I say, I know how to do it so well that I'm going to sell you a bunch of shit. And that's because I am so rich that I'm going to sell you a course or something, or like a group, Telegram paid group would be like the classic, where I'm going to give you my best calls so you can double down, triple down, 10x, 100x, 50x, depending how big your cojones is. But in order to get in, I need $303. And then it's a very volatile asset. So no matter what happens, you can't blame me for anything. So that's pretty much how it goes. And then people don't like to work. Obviously, making real fiat to put into crypto is difficult. Therefore, people don't want to do that. So it's kind of like a sexy thing. Like, it's not fun to say Bitcoin's going to 11K hodl for a year and a half. That's not sexy. That's just not sellable.
So I'm going to try to do an example in this live before we wrap things up quick to show why leverage or maybe curricula synopsis here.
Leverage is an opportunity to potentially minimize exposure while potentially earning outsized returns. However, the order book depth in crypto is thin, so 5 million market buy and sell can wreck your leverage. And on top of that, there's built-in features, not built-in features, but there's things that you don't understand about limit orders, bots, Wix. What is it? What do people always say? Scam Wix. Why do they say scam Wix? Because the only people that are capitalizing on those Wix know exactly what's going on. And they're quick enough to be there. So scam Wix are basically like, we're going to cause this inflated risk to the downside, and then we're going to buy it back up in whatever way they do that. I don't know the ins and outs, but you know what I mean.
So let's assume in this scenario here, we'll talk about it relative to a house because it's a lot easier for people to conceptualize purchasing a house. If you own a house and you have a mortgage, you are leveraged. You are leveraging your returns. So you can get outside, as Crypto Curricula mentions, outsized returns. How does that work? What does that mean? Okay, so in this case, say you have $100,000. On this side, you purchase the whole thing with debt. And on this side, you pay $100,000 in cash. Right on this. So let's say you put up $1,000 on this side to purchase this house for attorney, closing fees, etc. Right, and on this side you just buy the house outright in cash. So you have 99% leverage on this side, and you have none on this side. At the end of the year, how much money do you make on this side? Well, you make $20,000, and you make 20%. You're like, okay, cool. Now, what do you make on this side? Well, you make 20 grand. But you actually make a 20x on your money because the market grew by 20%, but you only had $1,000 invested. So you had access, so you had exposure to $100,000 from your $1,000. So you took $1,000, you purchased 100x of something. You can do this in crypto. Right? You can do this with options. You can do this with futures. You can do this with all sorts of different stuff. This is why this derivative shit is interesting to some people, right?
Mm-hmm. And we're going to be talking about hex derivatives in depth with Gold Key here. I'm probably going to do a one-off episode with it because he has a schedule is weird. So
let me know because I'll try to be onto that one.
Yeah, we'll figure that out. It could be whenever, so just be ready, guys. Whenever I'm just going to figure out when he's got a minute. And
it might be today because I'm just waiting for him to confirm today, 6 p.m.
If he does, just let me know. Yeah, just let me know if he does.
Yes, because that would be dope. I messaged him a couple times. Super.
That's a necessary episode. People need education on the matter.
And basically, debt increases your returns. If you guys want more returns, then you should probably subscribe to the channel you're watching this on. Press that bell notification. Follow on Twitter so you can learn more of this stuff. Do you want to finish reading through any of this? Or is that kind of the synopsis?
No, it's good. It's good. It's interesting time to be a crypto person. It's wild, man. I don't know, nothing to expect, but glory once 2024 is going on and we're in the bull market again. It's going to be glorious. And
it might be that long. It might be that long or longer.
Yeah.
It's possible.
Maybe not for every asset. Who knows what occurs in between, new projects, et cetera, new use cases, new layer ones with epic speeds. Everybody just donate to my ETH wallet on Twitter and I'll short the market for all of us. Yeah, and then donate to my ETH wallet underneath and I'll short the market too or whatever. Sam Hex has hexinvestmenttrust.com. Yes, we've done episodes on that where we'll probably double back on that again because we were kind of still learning some other stuff. Pull up 3AC wallet before you end. Okay.
Okay, so the Hex Investment Trust is I've heard of it, but I've never actually looked into it. And it's trading at parity. It looks like this might just be the Hex price. I don't know what the ticker symbol is of this thing. This would be interesting to check that out or whatever.
I'm gonna look up this 3AC.
Is this you pull that up? It says this is the Hex Investment Trust. Is there a chart of some sort that shows you the premium versus for the Hex Investment Trust, or is this not live yet?
I don't know if this is live yet. I've done shows with I'm a little priced out of doing Hex Investment Trust. I think you need $8 million. So I think I stopped thinking about it. But RG did a show on it. We did it.
It doesn't make sense for you to do it or for me to do it. It's a waste of your resources.
Well, yeah, but I mean, at a certain price point, it starts to make sense. So, but you can also sign up like years before you do it. So it's kind of like there's stuff that you want to look into. But I know people that fuck with it hard that are been in Hex and Bitcoin for a long time. But I don't know about all the shit. So we'll talk about that on another. I know a little bit, but I didn't know enough about the specifics right this second. I'm gonna pull up Etherscan real quick.
Dope. I'm gonna look at some of these comments here. Let's see if there's anything good. Looking forward to hearing Golke talk about team and base. Hey, we are too. We're super interested in what they're actually working on. Golke and Dipcatcher. I didn't remember his name. Both awesome dudes. I just love that Saylor has hundreds of millions of dollars levered long in BTC in the bear market. Hope he's earning a good funding rate. Yeah, and hopefully there's a lot of capital sitting on the side. He really needs to have a lot of capital sitting on the side. Hopefully he didn't take 50% leverage. Hopefully it was only like 10% over like his capital or something, because otherwise he could be effed, right? GRC, I posted the link in your DMs.
Oh my God, I forgot what I was doing for 2 seconds. I'm so silly. Let me. Thank you, Wendy's. Thank you very much. I started looking at something.
Oh, so hilarious. completely distracted, even on the show. This is what you get live.
Let's see what Wendy's has sent me here. Okay, guys, let me pull this up. So, what do we got here, Sam? We have a wallet with $50 million in Ethereum here. 6 million, 43 million Aave V2. Wait, is Wendy saying anything in the comment? Again, Wendy's, I'm a little scrub when it comes to running.
Yeah,
around.
what does this mean? So potentially,
let's click on this.
Potentially, so 3AC went long everything for a retail pleb. Okay, so if you look at this, if you scroll back up to the top there for a second,
yeah,
they have 50 million ETH,
yeah,
and it looks like they
on Ethereum.
Yep, and it looks like they may have borrowed 43 million against that 50 million, which would be, the delta there is.
Here's the lending right here on Aave V2. We have Ethereum, 185,000 Ethereum for $201 million. So, Sam, what is that telling us?
So it looks like they supplied, that's on the left-hand side below heart rate. It says they supplied ETH of about 200,000 Ethereum for a current market value of $200 million worth.
Mm-hmm.
USDC, they borrowed against their ETH. Guys, like,
Jesus,
if you borrow against a risky asset, you're holding volatility risk. You're holding a massive amount of volatility risk.
Dude, that's a lot of leverage, dude. These guys are crazy, bro. 73 million in USDT. What? So that's 300 million. This wallet's absolutely baller, though. I mean, they got it going on. Let's what is going on over here, guys? This is absolutely wild. Let's see what they're holding. Basically just ETH and whatever tokens they got. Uni Air Swap, we're $204. Let's fucking go.
Yeah, nothing else. They don't have a whole lot of anything.
So, guys, pretty crazy stuff. Like, the amount of money being leveraged is absolutely nuclear. This market sold would drop ETH price to $300.
This, if if ETH drops to $300, ETH would be a very good buy, in my opinion. Like, because there's going to be a lot of this shit that washes away over this bear market, I think.
Let me see what this V2.
If we have a wick, if we have something where the price comes down for like even for a month or so, where prices drop drastically, there's going to be so many players that are just like, what is that saying? The people get exposed when the tide goes out. Who is actually naked? Oh my goodness, there's going to be some players here that are fucking naked, and they have overexposed themselves in debt. They actually stole money to pay some down. Hey, this seems like a good way to pay debt back, right?
If we all short together, we can liquidate them and then double up on the shorts. Yeah, let's RH is probably ready to liquidate those guys. Yeah, it's time to wrap up, guys. This has been an absolutely amazing episode. Watch out. We might be later on today talking about Team Token. We'll see. 6 p.m. EST. Guys, it's been absolutely wonderful. If you love the show, click all the buttons, read all the links, click all the stuff, send all your money. And that's it. So
yeah,
crypto in the morning every single day, guys. We're coming at you. We might do a crypto in the evening with Gold Key one of these days. It could be tonight. So keep your eyes open, guys. The market is going to dump poopies all over your face. So, and if it doesn't, then whatever. That'll be dope. So, guys, have a wonderful day. Balliet Brand, great to see you.
Follow on Twitter, link down below, and check out my other YouTube channel. Just did a fire podcast last night related to PEDs and different things around performance enhancing drugs and the discussion related to that and different studies that we actually covered on the show. Super interesting stuff. I don't know if there's a link down below in this, but there on my channel there is, but I don't know if there is on GRC's channel. But if you click over to my channel, who's broadcasting this as well, you'll be able to find the link there as well. And with that, we're going to play some dope music here from DeFi Proof and take us out of here. Peace.
You already know what time it is. Crypto in the morning. Crypto in the morning. Crypto in the morning. Waiting on phone. Crypto in the morning. 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 Waiting on phone. Crypto in the morning. Crypto in the morning. Smoking a blunt on my way to the gym. 11 a.m. and I'm already tuned in. Got me some hex and I'm making a stay. Got me some hedron, I'm making it rain. Pay me some maxi and that's just in case. Jim ready to send me to show you the way.